Hey. Good evening, everybody. My name is Marissa, and welcome to the HerKey LinkedIn Live, the HerKey League of Extraordinary Women. And it gives me great joy because guess what? HerKey just completed 2 years. We are two, and that calls for an applause. So your hands are empty and free. Yay, just go and give us a clap. And to all the people from HerKey Club, if you're tuned in, you deserve a pat on your backs because without you guys, this would not be possible. And now we are here with the HerKey this live today because it's exceptionally special because celebrating our anniversary month, we decided, hey, you know what? Let's tell you where it all began, how it all began, and who are the people who made it possible. So we started the series with Neha Bagaria, founder and CEO of Jobs for Her, and then Shonali Rebello, who was the mastermind, the brainchild of who is the HerKey League, HerKey Club, and now we have a very own everybody's favorite, Kaajal Ahuja. So, warm welcome, Kaajal. And interviewing Kaajal today, we also have another special guest who is Santosh Belani. And guess what? I get to do the honor of introducing these two amazing women to you guys. So, first up, I'm going to quickly introduce Kajal. She needs no introduction, but to all the new people who have tuned in, Kajal has previously worked in the field of customer support, first at HDFC Bank and then at Dell International. During her 13-year career break, she spent 4 years volunteering at a government run educational institution and also ran her own enterprise, Hey Gorgeous, alongside for 8 years. It was during her break that she discovered her love for writing and came back to work part time as a content writer at Jobs for Her and moved on up the ladder. Being part of the startup culture, her work also revolved around content creation in different forms, such as audios and videos, many of which she was part of herself in the form of an MC or moderator for several years at Jobs for Her corporate events. Kajal has also joined hands with social initiatives and has a keen mind on repairing and rebuilding our environment and contributing towards a more conducive society for women. On the personal front, she engages in spontaneity of all kinds, whether it's dancing the night away or solo traveling from time to time to keep the fire burning. She is married and is a mother to a fine 17-year-old. That is quite an introduction, Kajal. A warm welcome to you. And I just want to say we are so happy, to have had the joy and pleasure of working with you. And today, everybody is going to know your story because you're always running the show. It's time now to get those secrets out. And who better than Santosh on the other side to get those, to get you to spill those beans. Santosh Balani is the co-founder of Studio GSA Architects. She knew fairly early on that she wanted to pursue architecture. She trained and worked at Thomas Associates after completing her B.Arch at RVCA Bangalore and then pursued a master's at SCAD in interior design before setting up her studio with her life and work partner, her husband Gaurav. Weaving in her design aesthetic to translate client requirements into a tangible reality lies at the core of what she and her firm aspire towards. She has always believed to the best of her ability, earnestly and honestly, never shying away from hard work. Her mother always encouraged her to do better and never made anything seem unachievable. I think that deserves a clap in itself, right? She has two beautiful children, an amazing husband, and a beautiful life where she was never made to feel the divide personally or professionally. However, she wants her kids to know that their mother used to ride a bike to college, has bungee jumped, pierced a navel, and would never be scared to try anything new. That she has still this side to her, just currently buried under layers of work and sometimes self-doubt, one that she is peeling away slowly but surely. Wow. Guess what? We have two amazing women here with so many stories, so many experiences, and this is going to be one amazing life. And I know that we are, this is going to be a half an hour thing and there's so much to unpack. So I'm just going to quickly say bye bye and give the floor to you, ladies. And to all the viewers who are watching in, again, this is the anniversary month of the HerKey Club. So type in your questions. If you want to join the club, we will send you the link. Any questions that you have for Kajal or for Santosh, please type it in the chat and we will have them answered. Ladies, have fun
Marissa.
and over to
Thank
you
you,
guys.
Marissa. Such a
Thank
darling
you.
yourself. Thank you.
Thanks, thanks. Okay, that was like an amazing, amazing introduction. I know everyone, including me, Kajal, is very excited about today.
Oh,
Everyone
you
at the
guys are so
HerKey Club,
sweet.
extremely excited. I'm also humbled that you thought of me to interview you. And I think let's just go for it. Taking a cue from Bhuvana, I thought that today this session should be called Coffee with Kajal. And we should get some interesting info also, apart from knowing all the amazing, amazing things about you. So I'm going to just
Oh,
start off
thanks,
with my
Santosh.
first question. Somewhere I read, Kajal, where you wrote that life for you began at 35. Could you talk to us a little more about this, about your journey thus far, and why do you feel that life started only at 35?
Thanks so much for doing this, Santosh. Firstly, it's so lovely that you took the time to be here. Um, hey everyone, I'm so glad that you guys have tuned in, and it's a different feeling altogether to be on the other side. I was just telling Santosh, I'm so used to listening, and today I have to do a lot of talking. So I'm hoping I find the words to, be able to share with you um, a little, give you a little peek into my life until now. Um, the reason I said life only began at 35, between 35 and 40 is what I would say, is because, up until then, I think it had just been a continuous roller coaster ride for me, where I wasn't aware that I wasn't living life with intention. I was living it more by the norms and what was expected of me. You know, Married very early on in life. Actually, I wasn't even 18. We said 18 on the, on the. We didn't want to get into any trouble, of course. But married even before I was 18. Um, it's That's your life then, right? You're
Yeah.
juggling between
Yes.
marriage and a new house and in-laws and a husband, and you're also managing your studies, after which you have a child. You're raising that child, and the community that I come from, we were never encouraged to work. Absolutely never, at least after marriage. Had I stayed at my in-laws place, and had I stayed at my place and had the life of a spinster, I think things would have been very different, where I would have definitely worked. But I didn't, right? And then somewhere in between, a separation came into the picture, where my husband and me parted ways for a few years, and we lived apart because I think we were married so young, right? We weren't, you're not thinking at 17. So we took some time out, and it was during that time that I actually stepped out to work. All right. Uh, 3 years later, a reunion, came back on the cards, and my husband and me got back, which meant I had to give up my work all over again.
And you
In fact,
actually completed your studies after your marriage, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I I had just completed my first PUC. So from second PUC to the end of my degree, I did after my marriage. And I'm very glad I did, because for me the biggest thing was, I do not want my child going to school saying my mom is a 12th dropout. I definitely wanted, him to say my mom's a at least a graduate, if nothing else. And I So that's one of my biggest reasons why I had to complete my education. um, but then when I got back, I had to drop my career all over again. And yeah, I wasn't happy about it. But we were always taught obedience. From the time you were raised, you never really uh,
Question.
questioned, or you never really thought there was another, that you could be in conflict, right? That's the way we were raised. So I conformed, and I went, gave up my career. In 2 years, I had my boy. And after he turned 10, when he was turning 10, my in-laws had passed by then. um, I realized that I had become a nagging wife, an extremely interfering mother who was nitpicking on things that she really shouldn't. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to see the rest of the years ahead like this. You know, that is when I pulled up my socks, head down, bum up. I started looking for jobs.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I said nothing. I don't want to do this. And I just began simple. I said, I'm great at the language, English. So I will look for something with that. And that's how I found jobs for her. And working can really change not only your mindset, it changes, your approach to life, basically.
Yeah.
Um, and I have been with jobs for her ever since. I'm completing 6 years next month.
Wow.
And I have loved every single minute of it, from going part time to full time, from and even taking a sabbatical in between, and now from being a writer with them to being part of the content team, and now being part of HerKey, which is such a huge and passionate part of my life. Because the club has the women it does, right? It has these women from such amazing spheres. Um, so that's why I feel that I only started hearing myself between the age of 35 and 40, where I realized that I'm beginning to realize what I really want, where
Yeah.
I started living with intent versus living by the book or living by what society has expected us to do. Yeah, I don't, my God, we're only at our first question. Sure, Santosh. Yeah,
No,
so
I
that's how
mean,
it began for me.
I mean, it takes a lot of courage and to even accept that and move on, right? And I think it's amazing that you started with the skills that you had and like, okay, I'm good at this, and then you started looking for stuff that you could work with, right? Because that could also be a deterrent for so many people that
Yeah,
I'm not skilled enough, and which
yeah,
actually brings me to the second question that I wanted to ask you. When I watched Neha's interview, right? And she spoke about I think Bhuvana asked her, can you give us an example of a woman restarter and a story that really touched her? And she spoke about you. And
yeah.
yeah, I don't know if many people know, but you actually uh, did this after a break of 13 years, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because firstly, I was so touched because I didn't expect Neha to talk about my restarter story. So it was an extremely humbling yet very proud moment for me, right? Um, and the fact that Neha remembered how long my break was and how I've come about. But like I was telling you, right, Santosh, we never really thought we could go back. We never really thought we could work. So when I got married, I said my doors to working are sealed now, right? Even for to run Hey Gorgeous, which was my personal enterprise, you know, uh, I had to fight a battle at home because they didn't think it was. Um, that it was necessary because we were well taken care of. They didn't think it was a wise investment, or that I needed to do that because I had to focus on my married life, my children, the
Yeah.
home. So there was it. I received in terms of, I won't say it was. That's a train in my
That's your
background. Everyone.
train.
Yeah, it had to make a presence during this, of course.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I know, but like what you were saying, right? It's not always only about money, right? Like
no,
getting working, it's never only about that.
it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was all about, just having to have something that was my own, just my own. um, and that's how it began. And while they were not of the same thought process as I was, um, they said, "Fine, give it a try." And you will not believe it. I mean, I still remember this fondly. When my business started doing so well, I basically used to put up, exhibitions of a lot of ethnic wear that used to come in from Calcutta,
Okay.
and the business was doing so well. And initially, when I started, I borrowed money from my father-in-law, right? And I said, I'll pay you back. And when I paid him back in a while, and after 3 months, when he realized it's doing some well, he came up to me and said, if you need more money to invest in your business, I'm happy to come
I
in.
like that. I like that.
And I can never forget that moment because
Yeah.
I know that he was not keen at all when I started out. He said, "What do you do? These businesses don't do well ultimately, and this is your life." And for him to come and tell me, "I can offer you more money to, fund your business," was a win.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it took me 13 years, Santosh. But 13 years later, also, I realized that if I don't do this now,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anything you can say to help the women who maybe are in the same boat, who after 13 years are doubtful that they have the capabilities to get up and go for that interview, right? I mean, what
yeah,
pushed you to
that's
go
true.
for that interview, and how did you, prepare yourself? I mean, any pointers for, anyone who's in the same boat?
Um, so firstly, for me, it's always been that, Santosh, because I've lived a very protected life. The unknown is something that I'm always very intrigued by. I don't know why, right? Or the fact that I can explore something or dive deep into something that I know nothing about, right? Somehow that's driven me, right? That's been my driving force. But for anyone, and we have a very large audience of women who do come back after these large number of years. It's not just my story. There are amazing stories out there. I
That's true.
know, the vice president of Kotak Mahindra Bank, Usha. I can't remember her full name, but she came back after a 20-year break. All
Wow.
right. And what must it have taken her to do that, to go away for 20 years and then improve herself such that she became the vice president of such a huge brand, right? So I'm just going to say, what is your reason to come back? Just
Yeah.
drive high on that. What is your reason to come back? Remind yourself of it every single day. My reason was I did not want to live my husband's and son's life, right? Uh, Usha's reason might have been, something else. So, what is your reason to come back? And just find something that's really passionate enough to hold on to. You don't want to say, "Oh, I'm thinking I'll get back to work. I have a lot of time," or it'll never be enough to shake off what is holding on to you right now. So, my only and only, I don't want to say advice, but I would say just find that one passionate reason for you to come back and stay the course. I have days where I don't want to work. I just want to, probably sit back and but I remind myself what my work gives me, right? So yeah, that's what I would say,
I
Santosh.
think I think that's really beautiful. Not only, like you said, not only for women who want to restart, but like when we have our days when you don't want to do what you're doing, what is the
Yeah,
reason? Like just think about that. I think
yeah,
that's really, really nice. I mean,
yeah,
everyone can benefit from that.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I was also reading in your bio about how giving back plays a really, really important role for you. And I've read so much about all your volunteering and, that you taught. You also work with another NGO. So if you can just, you know, shed some light on that also.
So, Santosh, when I was reading the question yesterday, I was like, we talk about giving back, as if it is something that, that we're stepping out to really make happen. I mean, we are doing that, but it's actually such a beautiful part of the ecosystem, you know? There's no way that you can continuously take and not
Yes.
give,
Yeah.
right? So actually that's the balance, right? And I really feel like I'm living, I just want to be able to live in that balance, you know where we're constantly making sure that we take so much from the way we live, right? We some of us a little less, some of us more, but we are constant takers, right? But that's not the balance that was created. The balance that was created was meant to be of give and take. And that is the balance that is there in a relationship. That is the balance that is a part of everything in life, right? You go anywhere into the ecosystem. Uh, Whether
Yeah.
you're in a forest, you will realize that there's give and take. My husband puts it so beautifully for me all the time, where when trees fall, I mean, or you see an animal eaten by another one, you're like, your heart goes out. But that is how the ecosystem functions, right? With a give and take. So when I talk of this, I'm just doing this so that I'm part of that balance, where I'm constantly making sure that I'm doing my part, uh, about being a human on earth. It's as simple as that, right? It's amazing that you can choose the way you want to do it. You can pick what, the way you want to be part of this balance, right? So if we are extra privileged, then how do you distribute that? How do you create that balance with the extra that you have? So that's my only reason to step out. And I didn't actually go looking for hope books. When I was on that sabbatical that I was telling you, I just put out feelers, with different people that, hey, I'm looking to connect with, anything that's of meaning. And if you know someone or you know an initiative, then please let me know. And back then, I had started, even with the environment in terms of tree plantations, in terms of civic sense, etc. I had started with all that also with another couple of groups. And HopeWorks was one group that came into my purview because of Neerja. Neerja has been part of the jobs for her,
Yeah.
team foundation. And I know that she has a great network. So I had reached out to her and told her that, Neerja, anything that you know of, I'm very happy to be part of. And that's how I got connected to Jacinta and Hope Works. And it's tied in so beautifully. That's why I see how the balance of the universe strikes, because here I am with my work with a set of women who are continuously rising, right, at HerKey. And at Hope Works, I get to be part of the lives of a few girls who are looking to make a life, who are not as privileged as the rest of us, but who have immense potential. Um, so to be a part of that team and just to offer whatever I can, I feel actually is so humbling, and is so. I'm the one actually with gratitude, that I get to be part of that. They remind me of what gratitude is. They remind me of what acceptance is. They remind me of the fact that no matter how much life can beat you down, there are ways to shine. I see that in them every day. So imagine the lessons I'm taking away, and I stepped to give, but
Yeah.
I take away,
Yeah.
right? So I've said this before, but I can see so much wisdom in the words of Jesus in the Bible, where he says, "Give and you shall receive." It is as simple as that.
Yeah. It's
So I'm very happy to be part of HopeWorks, and my role keeps evolving with them. It keeps growing, and I couldn't have asked for more.
simple but profound also, right? Like to always we don't realize, but it is part of that balance. And
Yeah,
there are times when we are only taking.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean it's amazing. It's amazing. So I know this, like you said, it gives you gratitude, it feeds you. What else feeds you? What else feeds you and keeps you going?
That is also something that keeps changing with time, because because I think it's at the life stage you're at.
Yeah.
It's also at the pinnacle, it's the kind of experience that keep unfolding, that change what rekindles you. What rekindle me at 30 or 35 is not something that I do at 40. So currently, my highs are absolutely traveling alone. I really look forward to it. I also have a mad friend who packs a bag overnight and just leaves with me. We both get into the car, and we just drive off. We will say we'll go to Hampi tomorrow, and we've done it, right?
Yeah.
And the kind of the fact that the high that you get from the spontaneity that comes from it is absolutely unmatched, right? So I realize that being spontaneous is something that gives me a high. right? Whether it, and it's about being able to jump into the moment. So my travel with my, with myself is something that I really look forward to. Happens maybe once or twice a year. I'm going to Rishikesh,
Yeah.
this weekend, and I'm so looking forward to it. Um, Other than that, my work gives me a lot of satisfaction, Santosh, because it's always been associated with a purpose behind, right? We bring women back to work through Jobs for Her. At HerKey, we're constantly associated with women rising. And even with these women rising, I'm so humbled by the fact that they're real women. They talk about their vulnerabilities, about their fears, about their struggles, but constantly being there for each other, and making sure that they are, continuously rising as well. That's being a real woman, right? You're not just talking of the highs, you're absolutely even acknowledging the
Yes.
lows.
Yeah.
So my work, my travel, somehow COVID has made me realize that, or made us all realize that we all thrive on human connection, right? Um, and nothing more than being able to have that connection today gives me a high. So if I'm able to gather with some friends over a cup of tea and laugh, I really count that as a blessing. So
Yes.
currently, this is what gives me a high, Santosh. But maybe if you
Yeah.
speak to me 6 months down the line, I may be giving you a totally different list.
So I actually chatted with Kajal a little bit about her trip, and it's definitely got me excited. And I've asked her if there is room in her car with her other friend, and I'm going to tag along on her next drive to Hampi or wherever. So anyone else wants a seat in that car, please let us know. Let Kajal know. So I'm going to
Yes,
just,
absolutely.
you know, just turn the tables a little bit since it's already there. I've been dying and dying and dying to ask you this. So I don't know for when I joined, Kajal was the one who did my interview, and she sent me this list of questions, and some of them had me like totally stumped. Okay, like I didn't know what to do, and I'm waiting eagerly for Kajal to answer this. So Kajal, if you were an animal or a bird or an object, what would you be and why?
So I don't know if this is cursed, Santosh, by you, because I couldn't get a single answer. Okay. And I've been thinking of just, I haven't even looked at the other questions. I'm just thinking of this one question from yesterday evening, and I'm blanking out. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like payback time.
No, we had to make this fun coffee with Kajal also, right? Does anyone have any uh, suggestions, any ideas? What would Kajal be? Let us know. Let us know. Yeah,
Yes,
help
please do
Kajal
let
out.
me know. What do you see me as, if you were to see me as an animal or an object or a bird? Because I should have no clue. And I was thinking maybe I will, I just thought I will say like an elephant, because I'm very, very drawn to elephants. I wonder how they are so large and still so gentle, right?
Right.
Uh, I'm extremely touched by that. But yeah, I'm very keen to hear your answers, everyone who's listening, because I'm stumped. I have no clue what object or bird or animal I should be. And someone saying Kajal Hitori Tabi. Yes, yes. Thank Hitori Tabi is one of my favoriteest words. It's solo traveling, and I just discovered that absolutely. That would be my word for spontaneity. So Santosh, are we equal now? Because you didn't have an answer and neither do I.
Yeah, the writer didn't have an answer. No, no. But I'm waiting to
What
hear
a bonus
what
topic.
everyone else says. So let's see. Yeah.
There's
I
someone who
just
says a swan. Oh, how lovely. Thank you. So sweet.
Okay, not to sound silly, but I don't know where you're reading this.
This is all on the comments that are coming in. Luckily, I turned them on. Someone saying flamingo,
Okay, I
and then
see it now.
teddy bear,
Okay. Yes, okay. A
and someone
horse,
saying,
majestic, focused, and calm as a leader. Yes, Marissa, I totally agree. We just spoke about how unfrazzled Kajal is the whole time. She's always very calm and composed. And, she has this really amazing quality of putting us all at ease. And I would just like to share my um, I don't know, heartwarming experience with Kajal. And this is, we never met, we never spoke, nothing. But she just reached out to me on like one of my really dark days and, listened to me. And she was just listening and she shared. And there was just an instant connect, for someone I have not spoken to. She was a stranger to me. It was just whatever chat was happening on the club. And from that day on, it was just a connect. And I knew if I was ever in this zone again, that I could reach out to her. It was a totally non judgmental chat. And it just felt really good. And I want you to know you have that effect on everyone. You put us all at ease. And
Oh,
at
so
least I look
sweet.
forward to meeting you and listening to you.
Oh, so sweet, Santosh. That was so sweet of you to have mentioned, but thank you. The
I
fact
just
that
got the answer. Sorry, sorry. Okay, sorry, continue.
no, no, go ahead.
No, I just realized that you are what Shonali said. You're the phoenix. You're like
Lovely.
yeah, yeah. I think that's apt for you. It just came
Oh,
to me. Sorry to interrupt you. Please, yeah.
no, not at all. I'm just glad that I could be part of, you know, part of your day, that particular day, and especially if you were having a bad day and to have made even the slightest difference. Um, Thank you for letting me in.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, yeah. I mean, is there anything there was this other thing that I saw on your Insta page. This quote, I think, which is something that you may not have said directly, but it's been part of what you've been talking about now. So there's this thing that I think you live by. The universe is always listening. Yeah. So I think that's a great place to kind of I don't know, pause for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's uh, it's always been something that I've seen. Uh, like I told you about my life experiences until now, right? So how else would everything come together until you realize that the universe is actually always constantly listening, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you seek, they say, right? What you seek is seeking you.
Yeah.
And I've seen that. I may not realize it immediately, but walking ahead in my life, wherever I've been, I've looked back and I've realized that whatever I really needed came to me in that moment, and not just from one place, but all around, you know. Like I was telling you, for me, the pandemic pushed everyone in a corner. We know that, right? For some, it was extremely intense. For some, it was a little less. For me, it brought out a lot of experiences that I hadn't paid attention to, you know, and to have come past that, and now to have looked back on everything that came to me uh, as guardian angels at that time, everything and everyone. Uh, and for me to be standing here today feeling normalcy and happy and grateful all over again, what else could it have been, right? It was the universe listening all along. So it's been my experience, and I feel like if you but for the universe to be listening, I feel like you need to be talking to it as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Put it
So
out there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I literally speak to the universe. I mean, I don't know if I'm sounding a little crazy right now on the interview,
No, no,
but
no. I mean,
because it's always there. It's
it is.
never interrupting. It's always there. And I just I cry or I laugh or I, make fun, and I get it out there. So for me to be, and I have only started doing that very recently, ever since the pandemic. And there's one very lovely quote where someone wise said, "We always speak about God, but we never speak to God." Right.
True. Yeah.
So for me, just became friends with the universe, and somehow
Yeah.
it's an
Yeah.
amazingly silent and therapeutic listener. So yes, I'm just gonna end with that.
Do you want to take Marissa's question? How do you cheer yourself up when you feel your lowest?
Okay, Marissa, you want a quick fix or you want a long fix? If you want a quick fix, you dig into dark chocolate. That's a sure shot mood lifter. Okay. But if you want a long fix, then you can travel. It's absolutely lovely to go away somewhere on your own. I run to Carbon Park sometimes. It's the most beautiful place to be at by yourself. It's in the middle of the city. If you're in Bangalore, that is everyone. Otherwise, you can pick a beautiful, lush green expanse in your city. We forget what we really forget what nature can do for us when we're going through these really hard times. But if you choose, I don't know, you choose whether it's a beach or it's a expanse of lush greenery. You choose what works for you, and just spend some time alone there. For me, Kavan Park is a stone's throw. For all of us, it's in the heart of the city. For Bangaloreans, it can get so crowded, and you can still pick a corner for yourself. Yeah, that my train agrees. So still pick a corner for yourself and you pick what to do. Because for me, when you spend time alone is when I think you give yourself the power to recover from whatever it is that you need. But sometimes it can really be hanging out with a bunch of your stupid girlfriends and just
Yeah,
laughing about
get
things.
into the car and drive off. Yeah.
Get into the car and drive off. If that's not possible, just hang out with a bunch of your girlfriends if that's what gives you a high, and laugh about the most mindless things. We do that post 40. I think we do just that. We only laugh about mindless things. So it can be that, Marissa. You can choose. But for me, it's been like a mix of all of this. I'm hoping that answered your question. All
But some
right.
real gems, Kajal. Thank you so much. No,
Thank you for doing this.
yeah, lots of gems,
I love
guys. Listen, but to listen, also talk to the universe. Do this on your own, on your solo travels, and think of the reason. Think of the reason why you're doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't want to travel solo, find one mad friend like I have.
Yeah. Or
Um,
take Kajal with you.
yeah, absolutely. I can be your guide to solo travel. Thank you so much for doing this, Santosh. It's been so
Thank you.
lovely and heartwarming. But hey, everyone, we are from the HerKey Club and we have absolutely amazing women within. So if you'd love to be a part of us, you can look us up. Anushri, my team member, is putting up details about the club. So you can look us up there. Santosh is also a part of the club, and like we mentioned earlier, we've turned the tables around and we have our members interviewing us. Thank you, Santosh. Such a lovely,
Thank you.
heartwarming
Thank
30
you.
minutes.
Yes. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed listening to Kajal's story. And yeah, thanks.
Bye, everyone. Bye.